Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. Excuse me. Welcome to the final session of the day, last but not least, with Alan. We'll give about another minute, and then we'll get started. Oh, wrong button. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. We want to make sure we are taking or utilizing all of our time as much as we can. Welcome to the final session of the day with Alan Coker. I believe our title is Books and More. Books and More with Alan. So just a couple of housekeeping things to throw out there. First, if you have questions during the call, please utilize the chat function in Zoom, and we will also, if you are on the YouTube live feed, we will be pulling those chatted in questions as well. And if you are watching this after the fact, and it's not live, you can go to auxillary.uga.edu and click on the Auxiliary Connections link, and then go to the surveys and feedback. And there is that is a portal that has been set up for you to provide feedback, whether it's questions or just a generalized feedback of how we could improve, things we're doing well, suggestions, or if you have actual questions. And that has the functionality of being anonymous, or you can identify yourself. So we'll go ahead and get started, and take it away, Alan.
Hey, Catherine, thank you so much for that. And I thank you, everybody, for participating this afternoon. As you can see, I'm not Kimberly Morris. I'm Alan Coker. As Randolph Carter calls me, I'm the new guy. I came into Auxiliary Services on the 13th of January this year. So I've spent all of 10 weeks with you, and 2.5 of those have been working from home. So it's been an interesting time. I'm excited to be part of such a professional team. University of Georgia in auxiliary services nationwide has a reputation of doing it right. So it was really exciting when I got the associate director position. Just to explain a little bit on that, what does this position do in auxiliary services? I oversee auxiliary operations. What does that include? Process improvement and contract management. With process improvement and contract management, we're looking at contracts for auxiliaries. We're looking at grants that we can bring in for auxiliaries. It oversees all the vending services, the micro markets that John Hall's putting all over campus, and solicitation policies, and making sure we're following the policies and protecting the brand of the University of Georgia. Also oversee transportation and parking, and hopefully you had an opportunity earlier today to hear from Don Walter and all the great things he's doing in his area with the electric buses. The UGA golf course is one of our operations. Matt Peterson spoke earlier today, and I tell you what, he just showed a beautiful picture of what the greens look like. And I'm kind of like Catherine on that. Catherine, we do need to move our offices out there. I think from that picture, Matt's got the best office on campus. It also includes One Stop Shop. And One Stop Shop is our newest department or newest unit in auxiliary services, where right now we have parking and transportation and dining come together to give one area that customers can come up to and get service. We're hoping in the future to be able to expand that to other areas and just adding more convenience for our customers across campus and our visitors to campus. The last area I oversee is the contract with the UGA Bookstore. And that's what I've been asked to speak about today, because that falls in there. We'll share a little bit about my background. I've been doing auxiliary services. This is my 5th college or university. Like I said, I came in on the 13th of January, came in from the University of California, Merced, which is a 10 university system, the University of California is, and I came from the smallest university. Next week, if you'll tune in, Randolph's asked me to do a session on basically careers in auxiliary services, what my background is, how I got to where I am today, and then hopefully be able to share some tips with you on ways you can improve your career and opportunities to move forward. And so now that we've covered all that, go ahead and go to the first slide, Catherine.
Alan, I will do that. Give me just a second. I'm getting the some messages that that the screen is frozen. And anybody add in to the session for me and let me know if they are seeing a black screen right now. Well, for me, what I see of Alan, you're frozen.
Okay, yeah, everything seems to be working on this end. I've got all the power and everything. I'm showing good Wi-Fi signal.
All right, bear with us, everyone.
Yeah, I've rechecked the signal. Everything else is working on this end.
Alan, can you try clicking on stop video and restarting the video, like not leave the meeting, but to the
Okay, I just recycled that. How does that look?
I see you now. I see you now. Does everybody else? What's the word? Yay! We're getting good feedback. All right. So now we will let me get to our PowerPoint. And I will share that for you. Hang on one second.
Okay.
All right. All right, how's that?
Well, what's the feedback? How's that, everybody?
I'm getting a thumbs up and all good. So carry on.
Okay, do I carry on or do I start over? Hi, everybody, again I'm not sure where it cut out, but I'm Alan Coker.
You were frozen, but you weren't ever gone. The audio was great.
Okay, super. We'll go right to that first slide. As you can see, the reason I put that up there so people can see my face and see how I normally dress when I'm around campus, and also with my email address. If anybody has any questions. Today, I'm your substitute coming in for Kimberly Morris. The bookstore right now has 4 employees, and they're working from 10 to 4 every day, running all their operations online. And Kimberly wasn't able to do this, and Randolph asked if I would step in. Having only been here 10 weeks, I don't have a micro look into how our bookstore operations work at UGA, but I do have a macro look and a 30,000-foot look and a background in overseeing bookstores at multiple other universities. So today we're going to talk about books and more. So go ahead, next slide, Catherine.
All right.
Is it just a bookstore? You can look at the definition that is up on the screen now. This is what's on the website if you dig in for the University of Georgia, looking at the bookstore. If you go to their index A through Z, you get bookstore. This is what it's going to tell you. I beefed it up a little bit because most of us know, especially having been in higher education, that a bookstore is more than a bookstore to university. It's a one-stop place. It's our mini mall to provide everything from sundry items, textbooks, bestsellers, you name it. And most importantly, I think for a lot of us is that's where we get our Bulldog gear and to show our support for the university. And of course, it likes to tout itself as the largest inventory of textbooks in Athens, Georgia. So a bookstore is always more than just a bookstore. But even beyond the items, the goods and services it provides, go to the next slide, Catherine. A bookstore also provides a gathering place, a place for socialization on campus. Most bookstores on university colleges and campuses like ours are either co-located with the Student Center or co-located inside the Student Center. And this gives an opportunity for students to come together, socialize, study, etc. We'll talk a little bit about our bookstore, the layout and what's in it in a few slides here. But a bookstore is always, along with the Student Center, has always been a central gathering point on a college campus. I do want to add at this time too, that if any time during this presentation, if you have a question, put it up there. Catherine will feed that to me and I'll be glad to answer it. If not, we'll do question and answer at the end. Next slide, Catherine.
All right, I'll throw in there. There has been a question about the bookstore. Is there a discount for employees at the bookstore?
Right now, there's supposed to be a 10% discount with employees on that. That's one thing I am looking into because every university I've been at, there has been a discount. The contract for the bookstore is actually quite thick. That's one of the documents I'm working my way through. I'll be glad to get a definitive answer back to you on that.
All right.
Okay, well, moving on, what does a university bookstore provide? Of course, it provides support for the goals of the university. And one thing we've got to think of as a university, one thing in auxiliaries, and especially a bookstore, we're there to support the students, to give them a learning and living environment so they can succeed. Our goal is to have them come in, and as Brian shared earlier, if you saw his presentation, to provide that food, that place to sleep, the tools they need to be successful at the university and to graduate and go out and make an impact on the world. A bookstore also provides goods and services for the university from the students, faculty, staff, and even our local community. In Athens, I've seen a lot of local traffic come into our bookstore. Bookstores too always have to adapt to a changing culture. From the days when I was in college, it was all hardback textbooks, to nowadays there's book rentals and there's ebooks that are out there. They also provide a revenue stream for auxiliaries. As you know, in auxiliaries, we have to make the revenue to cover all our costs, all of our fixed costs, all our variable costs, so total cost. So it's one more revenue stream that we get coming into auxiliaries. Bookstores also provide capital for improvements, for building and upgrades, etc. And lastly, it provides employment opportunities for people on campus, students and spouses. So there's always an opportunity there for people to get more involved. Now, we're going to go to the next slide. I just want to share with you from a big picture, there's 3 university bookstore operating models. Go ahead, Catherine.
Alan, while I go to the next slide, if you will try the, oh, no, everybody's saying he's fine. Never mind, ignore me. We'll just go to the next slide.
Okay, we're up again. As I was saying, there's 3 standard bookstore models that are actually being used in higher education today. There's the self-operated model, and that's the model where the university itself is responsible for the total operations of the bookstore, the inventory, the operations, taking care of the employees, the building, etc. The second model is the outsourced, where you bring in a company, a professional bookstore company, people like a Follett, a Barnes & Noble, BBA, who just recently got the UCLA contract, and others like that, where it kind of comes in a package deal where they bring in the professionals and run the bookstore for you. The last model is one that's becoming very popular among colleges and universities in the US today, and that is the hybrid model. What a lot of universities are doing with a hybrid model, they are contracting out bringing in business partners to run the textbook side of the operation. And then they are running the other side of the operation, which in our case would be the sundry items, the snacks, the bulldog gear, all the souvenirs, clothing, etc. That is actually a model that is kicked off and going real well and seems to be being adopted by more major universities. Now, here at the University of Georgia, go ahead to the next slide, Catherine. We're an outsourced bookstore, and we outsource to Follett. Follett brings in the professionals. They're responsible for operations of the bookstore. They pay the employees, including salaries and benefits. They work in tandem with us to keep the facilities up through capital investments. And they're responsible for all the inventory, ordering, etc. It's close to a turnkey operation. And in an outsourcing situation like this, what we do is it's not really a profit share. It's more of a commission system where you're guaranteed so much annually for your bookstore operations. After that guarantee, you then get a percentage of the commissions going forward on all the textbooks, gear, etc. The only areas they ever exempt from outsource on that from the university getting commission is the computer and technology area, which is fine because the marginal revenue on that's only about 2% anyway. Now go to the next slide, Catherine. And now at our bookstore, we have two representatives from Follett. There's Kimberly Banks, who couldn't be with us today, who is our bookstore director. And then we've got the co-store manager with Adam. And I put their contact information. They are part of the auxiliary team. They work with us looking forward in areas that we can improve, things we can do in the bookstore. We meet with them regularly on what we can do to upgrade the bookstore, inventory, etc. They have to work through a hierarchy of a district manager, a regional vice president, all the way up to an operational president that works out of Chicago, Illinois. They are part of our team too when it comes to directors meeting. When Robert Holden holds the directors meetings, both Kimberly and Adam are there to provide input during those meetings. Now, one thing I wanted to share with you, and we'll talk a little bit more in depth, there's 3 different areas on campus where the bookstore serves us. Go ahead to the next slide. There we go. The first is the main university bookstore, and everybody knows about that, right across from the Student Center there, right across from the Tate Center. And in the main store, that's where the main textbooks, main bulldog gear, etc. I'm sure you've had the opportunity to go in there. In the last month, we've had Follett bring in their designer to look at the layout of our store. One thing they've done, if you'll go in there, you'll see that the displays are different. They're being refreshed, that the inventory has been moved around. More cash registers are being moved to the front. We've also got that set up so that when game day comes, we're going to be able to add another 5 to 6 cash registers in the front and get the crowds in and out quicker. When the store does open up, I hope you do go back in there, walk through again, see how things have changed. All of that's on the bottom floor. You know, you can go upstairs, and over on the left side, there's a computer store. Not only do they sell technology from Apple, but they also service that technology. Across from there upstairs, of course, we do have bookstores and we do have general book sales. So when you go into the bookstore, take time to walk up and down the aisles, look at the changes that have been made, and then go upstairs and look at what's available in that area too. Next slide.
Before we go to the next slide, Alan, question has come in. Does the bookstore have events or a team that designates that, for example, like a open mic night or a book reading, like a regular bookstore?
Not yet. I'm glad that question was asked. Like I said, I've had the bookstore under me at every university I've been at, and everyone I've been at, we've been able to make the bookstore an event center. As a matter of fact, the University of Idaho, part of our bookstore there had major events where we brought in people to sign books, carry all kinds of contests, and we even had a platform where SGA came and campaigned for positions. So that is one of the things I see for the horizon. that would be a great asset on the bookstore as we move forward? So that is a great question.
Okay. Is there a price matching program that you offer to compete with online bookstores?
Yes, there is. There's price matching. All you have to do is go on the website and you'll be able to look at that on there. Also, feel free to call Kimberly or Adam on that and let them share the details with you. But they do price matching, of course, if the goods and the service do match.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to move to the next slide. Can you do the that tech thing we did a minute ago where you stopped sharing and shared again? We've got some frozen. Today is the day of tech challenges. If you missed this morning with Brian, the campus, he was actually on campus and the internet went down. And then we've just, it's been a series of technological challenges today. So we're keeping that with all, our theme is flowing through in all the sessions today. So we're good. Carry on.
Okay, and you've done good powering through it all, Catherine. Thank you so much for what you're doing for the team. Next, you see, and a lot of people don't realize, just recently, we gave Follett the UGA golf course pro shop to run. And if you'll go out there, we've had the opportunity again in the last month when we brought in the designer for Follett out of Chicago. She went out and we've redone the whole pro shop with displays, etc. And when you go out to the golf course, just a little pitch for them, even if you're not a golfer, there is a place you can get UGA gear there. There is a cafe, great place to go grab yourself lunch and just enjoy the beauty and the nature out there. But the golf pro shop, being able to sell the products there, we take the profits and commissions that are made on that and we roll it back into the golf course to assist their operations. But I just wanted to make sure we put that one out there because a lot of people don't realize the pro shop is run by Follett, our business partner in the bookstore. Go ahead to the next slide.
While I'm switching, another question come in. If someone wants to purchase a computer, can they get a discount on that as well, or is it just for books?
Usually that's just for books and other items. Please check in with the bookstore on that if you want an Apple product. Quite honestly, I have been able to find better pricing on technology through contracts through the university, whether it's Dell or some other computer company, or even working with Best Buy, etc.
Yeah, and really, I will say, Maria, just you were the one that asked that, so I'll let you know the link that we shared. You'll find it on the Auxillary connections resources page. It is the purchase power, and that is discounted. There are computers on there that you can purchase with what they consider the employee discount. So be sure and check that out.
And yes, and I encourage people to do that. You know, we want everybody to get the best deal. Technology is such a product that the price, the quantity of what's available, the price swings, and it's so ever changing that I just encourage everybody to go out and find what's the best deal for themselves. And honestly, it isn't always the bookstore. The next thing we put up is the third area that we really are getting a lot of work with right now at the bookstore, and that's online. I've put the website up there, and I've just put a few things that you can do online, and that's, you know, get your Bulldog gear, you buy gift cards, you can get textbooks and rent textbooks, just all kinds of opportunities. What I did is I just put up there just a few of like the 18 to 20 things you can do online with the UGA Bookstore. You can go in there. It's almost like Amazon. I won't say Amazon, but almost like it, where you can track your order coming in, etc., moving forward. Now, I know I've gone over a lot of things real quick. And like I said, I've given you more of a 30,000 foot view of what goes on in bookstores. and really haven't to give you the details and successes, etc., that Kimberly would have been able to share with you, having been new here. Hopefully, as time goes on, I'll get a little smarter in that area. But one thing I did talk about is how we have an outsourced bookstore, how Follett provides for us. And I wanted to come near the end of this, sharing with you what the bookstore or Follett Corporation is doing to work with us in this coronavirus. Please go to the next slide. As you can see there, what they're doing, they're continuing online operations. Right now, we have people in the store taking care of all the online operations, shipping goods out. And on that, they have come forward and they're providing all shipping free for online. Also, they're providing free shipping for textbook returns. They've reached out to the students and said, hey, you've got textbooks to return. They will send them or show them where to print out a label and have the textbooks returned at no cost. Also, they've set up online that they will buy textbooks. This is a service they've always provided, but this textbook buyback will have to be off campus, and this will really enhance the students that don't want to keep a textbook. And lastly, the one they've partnered with a company called Red Shelf, and they are offering free electronic textbooks to students. Whatever Red Shelf has available is going to be available through the UGA Bookstore. As most of you saw today, the Arch News from the President's Office is we are going to continue Maymester and Summer Mester online, and that's going to become a very valuable asset, I think, to our students moving forward in that area. So what we've done in the last 20 minutes when I was able to be up on the screen here is giving you like about a 30,000 foot view, as I said, of the bookstore. And at this point, Catherine, if you go to the next slide, I'd like to take any questions if there's any there. And hopefully we're going to get the bookstore back to where this picture is. One more time, where we see people in the aisles, people shopping for their Bulldog gear, textbooks, etc. So I appreciate your time, and I'm ready for any questions. And Catherine, go ahead and put the last one up. Hopefully we have some Dr. Seuss fans out there.
I love it. All right. Anybody have any questions? Please type them in now. No, it's the end of the day, and we're all struggling today. So they're loving the
Catherine, I was fixing to say that myself. I think everybody a little worn out and tired. I know I am. This is about our sixth. I know we did 4 of these sessions and a couple of other type sessions a day. I do want to thank everybody that did come to listen to this presentation today and that's listening to the other presentations from auxiliaries. Like I said, being the new guy, this has been very valuable to look at all of these areas and to learn more about the University of Georgia, more about all of our units that are in auxiliary services. I want to thank each and every one of you for what you do for auxiliaries, what you do for the University of Georgia. Be safe, be secure, and my hope and my prayer is soon we'll be back on campus and I'll be able to greet each of you personally and shake your hand. Be safe out there. Thank you.
Thanks everybody for joining us, and we'll see you for the next session.